One of Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent associates and accusers has just killed herself, allegedly. This is Virginia Giuffre. She was certainly the most famous of Jeffrey Epstein's girls, a young girl when she started working with him, alleges that he and Ghislaine Maxwell made her sleep with all sorts of rich, powerful guys. And Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail in large part because of this woman's testimony. She allegedly killed herself. And people are skeptical of this because she sent out a tweet back in 2019. She said, "I'm making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and general practitioner. If something happens to me in the sake of my family," yes, she meant for the sake of my family, "do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted." Then she kills herself. People on the internet are saying, well, this is evidence. It's just like Jeffrey Epstein. He didn't kill himself and she didn't kill herself either. Here are just the facts. This woman, Virginia Giuffre, took legal action against Epstein a decade ago, back in 2015, back when very few of us were even talking about the Jeffrey Epstein story, even though there was stuff bubbling out there about it. The establishment media weren't touching it. Virginia Giuffre takes legal action against him. Fast forward to just about a month ago, Virginia Giuffre claims to have been hit by a bus, and she posted this picture of herself really bruised up, especially in the face. Not so much on the rest of her body, but in the face. She's got cuts and black and blue. And the bus driver in this case disputed her characterization of it. She said, I kind of clipped a car a little bit. I got out, made sure everyone was okay. The driver was this 70-plus-year-old woman. The driver was fine. Didn't even really pay attention that there was a passenger in the car. I don't think those bruises are from my bus clipping the car. Then, a few days later, there is a news article that's released that Giuffre has been beaten by her husband, allegedly. Giuffre claimed that she suffered years of physical abuse at the hands of her husband. The couple had just recently split up after being married for more than 2 decades. She wrote back in March, "My beautiful babies have no clue how much I love them, and they're being poisoned with lies. I miss them so very much." So I guess her kids were taken away from her, maybe with the husband or something. She goes, "I've been through hell and back in my 41 years, but this is incredibly hurting me worse than anything else. Hurt me, abuse me, but don't take my babies. My heart is shattered, and every day that passes, my sadness only deepens." So you really feel for this woman. She's had a rotten life, and she was exposed to lots of terrible things as a young gal, and you just feel for her. You feel she's suffered a lot. She's a troubled woman. I think she killed herself. We should pray for her. We should pray for the repose of her soul. I think she killed herself. I think if you examine the evidence, there's no reason that the people who want to shut up the Epstein story would have killed her now. They would have killed her in 2015. For 10 years, she's been spilling the beans. Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison because of this woman. So if they were going to get her, she's kind of spilled it all. There's really not much reason to get her now. You got to go to vandycrisps.com/Knowles. Spring is when we throw open the windows and freshen up, including freshening up our kitchens. It is time to ditch seed oils and processed snacks and cheap chips. They're not even cheap anymore. Even the regular potato chips are expensive now, and they're not going to fill you up, and they're not good for you. You need to get Vandy Crisps. They are just real potato chips made the old-fashioned way. I've told you this before. I'll tell it to you again. It is the greatest chip that I have ever tasted in my life, and in fact, it's so good you almost can't call it a potato chip. It's like a different thing entirely. Okay. Vandy Crisps were created to be the first real potato chip that you have ever tasted. Made just the way the potato chips were made 100 years ago. 3 simple ingredients: heirloom potatoes, grass-fed beef tallow, sea salt. That is it. You need to get more. I actually need to get more because I go through my Vandy chips. And the other night, I was having friends over. I said, "We're going to have some chips." I said, "Oh, good. Are we going to get those nice, juicy, delicious, crispy Vandy chips?" And we had run out, and I felt the fool. Don't feel like me. Go get your Vandy Crisps right now. VandyCrisps.com/Knowles, KNOWLES. Today, get 25% off your order. On top of that, she said she wouldn't kill herself, but that was a while ago. That was 6 years ago. A lot can change. Like your husband, who you're accusing of beating you, leaves you and takes your kids. And you say, "My heart's broken. This is the worst pain I've ever gone through. My heart is shattered." She posted after this bus crash that allegedly left her with the bruises, though it might have been the husband who left her with the bruises. It might have been something else. She says, I only have 4 days to live. I think she killed herself. I'm not saying Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. I'm saying that I think she killed herself. And the reason that this matters politically, and it's not just a gossipy story about this, bizarre sex ring. The reason it matters politically is it's important for us to remember, we who consume the news, we who are trying to make sense of political events in a time when there are legitimate conspiracies that are taking place. The juiciest conspiracy theory is not always the truth. That's not always the correct narrative. Sometimes it is. Conspiracies happen. People collude and conspire. That happens. But it's not always the truth. There are some people who adopt a pose of, realism, cynicism, but they call it realism. And they say, oh, you think you know how, oh, actually, the world is much worse than you even think it is. And they believe that this kind of deep pessimism passes for wisdom. But I think it's naivete, a lot of the time at least. The evidence here to me is a troubled woman who lived a really rough life killed herself, probably. And I think that actually tells you more about the human condition even than the Jeffrey Epstein sex ring. There's still tons of questions. Who was funding Jeffrey Epstein? Where did he get his money? Where was his career from? Why all the spying? What was the purpose? Whose interests did this serve? Who are the rich guys who have been protected here? There are all sorts of questions about Epstein. I am in no way diminishing that. But also sometimes people do kill themselves. And that's a dark reality about the human condition that we also have to confront. And just going to the juiciest, most TikTok-y viral theory, that might get you clicks on the internet, but that doesn't really reveal the truth of situations. It doesn't really help you to understand politics or human nature. Oh, hi there. Hi. Hey, did you like that clip? I thought you might. I trusted. I was confident that you would. Well, if you want more of them, you have to subscribe. You have to ring the bell. You got to ding-dong that thingy right there, right below the thing. Anyway, see you next time.